Hi guys, how you doing? Did you have a good week? It's been a crazy week, been a crazy couple of months. But I think that we're getting used to this new normal a little bit. We have to think about how can we live in a little bit different way than we used to. So school's going to be different, and grocery store is going to stay different. Things are going to be different. We have to remember, though, that there's certain things that are going to stay the same. So I was looking in doing some research and trying to figure out what to talk about today, and I came across the book of James. The book of James is, they think maybe it was written by Jesus's brother, James. He wrote it, and he was teaching people. He was one of the apostles. He was teaching people about Jesus. And so this one comes from James, the 2nd chapter, and it's the first 5 verses. And it says this: "My dear brothers," they used to say that. We don't say that anymore, but they meant everybody. "You are believers in Jesus Christ. So never think that some people are more important than others. Suppose someone comes into your church wearing very nice clothes and a golden ring, and somebody else comes in, a poor man, wearing old and dirty clothes. You show special attention to the one wearing the nice clothes. You say, 'Sit here in the good seat.' But you say to the poor man, 'Stand over there,' or 'Sit on the floor.' You're making some people more important than others. With evil thoughts, you are deciding which person is better. Listen. God chose the poor in the world to be rich with faith. He chose them to receive the kingdom of God promised to the people who love him." So, what is James saying? I think James is saying, let's not judge everybody. Matthew said that. Don't judge people. I'll tell you why. When you start to judge people, then you make some people better than others. And what does God say? God says, we are all good people. We all have the choice to be good, caring people. Follow my rules, and you're part of my world. If you don't, I forgive you, and you can start again. God didn't say if you have long, beautiful blonde hair, you can be in my world, but no one else. God did not say that. God did not say if you have beautiful skin with no freckles, you can be in my world, but if you've got freckles, no world. God did not say that. God said you're in my world. It's up to you. And so what happens is we start to forget that a little bit. And I know why. I think I know why. I kind of know why I do it sometimes. Because you have to be aware of who's around you, right? You have to be aware of what's going on so that you can be safe, especially in times when it's a little scary and people a little scared. So you look at people and you just decide, are they safe or are they not safe? The problem is when you start to make decisions based on what they look like and not who they are. And when you start to attack people, not even knowing who they are, just attack them because of the way they look. Sometimes it's a little hard to figure out how to decide if somebody's good or if somebody's bad if you don't have a chance to talk to them and learn about them. I think we have to figure out a way to do that. There's a list of things that we could do to maybe get into the mindset of not judging other people. And there's a bunch of them. One was don't blame yourself, which is kind of what I just said, right? It says right here, we are hardwired for survival. That basically means that we're constantly looking to see if somebody is safe for us. Maybe take a couple more minutes and have a conversation with them and smile at them. If you see somebody walking down the street and they don't look like you don't have to be afraid of them yet. If they're coming at you and you look like they're going to get you, okay. But if they're just the way they look, you don't have to worry about it. But you do what you can do. Be aware. Look at what's going on. Talk to people. Don't judge them based on what they look like. If somebody moves in next door to you and they wear clothing that you've never seen before, maybe you could start a conversation. How did you get those clothes? Did you make them? I love the color of them. Make it positive. Have a conversation with them. One of the things I've been doing is walking. I've been walking a lot, and it's a little weird, right? Because when you walk nowadays, you can't really walk when there's people around. You kind of have to cross the street, or you have to get out of their way and keep 6 feet apart. And I was thinking, I don't want other people to think that I don't like them, because I do like other people. And so one of the things I've been doing is making eye contact with the people that I meet as I'm walking, and smiling at them. And you know what happens when you do that? People smile back at you. When you look at somebody in the eye and give them a smile, they feel safe. When you ask them how do you get those clothing? How do you wear those clothes that are different than mine? They're going to tell you the answer. There's a person that ended up being kind of a friend of mine, and he wears a turban on his head. And the first thing he did was explain to me about why he wears it and who wears it. And one of the things that he and his friends do is they go into the city and they teach other people, and they show them how to wear it. So you're learning from other people. You can look at someone and look for their goodness. So when you're smiling at them and they smile back, that's their goodness, right? When they go in the street so I can walk the sidewalk, that's their goodness. When somebody is in the grocery store and says, please go ahead of me, you only have 1 or 2 things, that's their goodness. That's what you're looking for. Not who they look like, not the color of their skin, not the way their hair is, not whether they're wearing old clothes or new clothes, but how they act and what you can see that's their goodness. You can know that here's the thing. God created everybody. God created everybody. And so if God created everybody, then we're all God's. And so we don't need to judge other people, and we don't need to think that they are different and so they're bad, because they're not different. They're God's. They might have different colored skin, but you know what? Kenny and I have different kind of skin. None of my kids have freckles. My kids have different hair than I do. I have curlier hair. They have straighter hair. But they're good, and I love them, and I know them. So if you get to know people, then maybe there's not that fear that they're going to hurt you. You can look and make sure that you're doing the right thing, right? So you can, when you're walking down the street and you see people coming at you, instead of looking away or looking down, smile at them. When I was younger, I used to think people didn't want to talk to me because why would they want to talk to me? And over the years, when I started teaching and stuff, and I had to talk to people, I realized that if you talk to them, they want to hear what you have to say. I'm saying this all because there's a lot of fear, and there's always been a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear for things you don't know. That's where fear comes from for me. If I don't know it, I don't experience it, I've never seen it, I'm afraid. God says, I'm going to take care of you. So you got that. You got God's going to take care of you. So there's one thing that can handle the fear. God allows us to talk to each other, right? So you can talk to your neighbor and say, why do you wear the turban? Or why is your hair so long? or why are you wearing clothes that are different than mine? And then they can explain it to you. And you can explain to them why you wear sneakers instead of sandals, or shorts instead of long pants or long sleeves. You can get information when you ask people and you talk to them, and you can know that God is there for you. So this fear that we all have of seeing people who are different than us, and then with fear comes anger and hurt and hurting others. If you remember that God made everyone, no matter what they look like, no matter what their religion is, God made them. They have their own way of having God in their life. They have their own way of doing it. And that's okay. God's okay with that. So the next time you see somebody that's maybe a little scary because you don't know, or if you see somebody in the street, smile at them. Or if you go to school and there's a kid there that you've never met before who looks like they're not really going to talk to you, just smile at them and say hi. Because what happens is, you're walking down the street and you see somebody and they're walking, not really looking at you, and they're like frowning. And you smile at them, they smile. It's almost like a connection. You smile and then automatically their face smiles. And when you do that, then you have that connection with them. And once you have a connection with somebody, it makes it really tough to be hurtful to them. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to spend this week smiling at people, giving people the benefit of the doubt, meaning remember, God made them too. They're just like us. They might not look just like us. They might not dress. They might not live in a house just like us. But they are. They have a soul and they have a heart. And God made them. And God gives us all the ability to be with other people. All right? So remember, God gave you choices. God gave you, He's taking care of you. And He put other people in this world so we can learn and we can be together. And when that happens, then we won't see all this anger toward other people. We won't see people treating other people badly just because of where they live or what they look like. We don't want that. God does not want that. We are all God's people. I have 2 children, and I do not want them fighting. I want them to love each other. God has billions of children, all of us, through the years. He does not want us fighting. He wants us to take care of each other. So when you're going through your day and you see the fear, pray and do your own part. And your own part is to look at somebody that you don't know and smile. Let them go ahead of you in the grocery store. If you see a child on the playground that doesn't have anybody to play with, go over and say, come on, climb with me. All right? Or at school. I think that you can do this. I know God wants us to do this. And I think that if we all do it and we learn from us, because you know what? Grown-ups learn from kids all the time. Then maybe the world will be a little bit easier and it won't be so much anger in the world. And when you're grown up, there won't be so much anger in the world. I have faith that you will do this. All right. There's a word search, and it's kind of based on no false idols, which means don't put anybody above God. And that's kind of what we're talking about, right? Make sure that God is the priority, not your anger and not your fear. And then there's a craft that says do not judge others, and it has a heart, and you can print them out and cut them out and then decorate them. And if you want, send me a picture so I can see. Church is open and it's clean, and we're coming and we're wearing masks, and it's as safe as Mom and Dad would like it to be, but you do what Mom and Dad say, because they're the ones that take care of you. But when you can come. And I'll do Sunday school for you too. All right? I want you to have a really good day, and I want you to smile at people, and I want you to say hi. All right? I love you guys. I miss you a lot, but we'll be together soon. Take care.